AD accountable already. You told him he was late this morning.
He was late. A couple other guys late. I won't say their name,
but you let him know.
Starts today.
It starts today.
Rondo, Allie and I were talking about this earlier today. First time in like 5 years you're coming back to a familiar city. It's your second straight year in Los Angeles. Was that important to you at this stage in your career?
It was definitely important as far as this familiarity and just knowing my barriers, how to get back and forth to the facility, and just learn the lay of the land here in L.A.
What did last season teach you? And I mean from the standpoint of it didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to. There was things that you guys couldn't control, the injuries. How do you make sure this season is different now that you do have that familiarity with this organization?
Well, I think just our roster is completely different. I think we're pretty deep in every position. So when guys do go down, things that, we're able to control, guys are ready to plug right in and step up and still do the same job.
I thought when you came last year, the role was perfect for you. But then you got rushed into playing, starting, guys were injured, so you had to take on even more of a role in this late part of your career. This year, though, do you see yourself performing the role that you were brought here for? As a leader, guy off the bench. You did it last year, but you had to play a whole hell of a lot more minutes than expected.
Yeah. Whatever the team needs me to do, obviously, I'm willing to do that. I'll be ready to go. But for the most part, I would like to mentor and help guys develop. Go over game plan as much as I can with the coaches, what they allow me. And just like I said, just being the bridge between the coaches and the players as far as, just, like I said, chemistry, being able to communicate and all be on the same page.
You kind of brought me to my next thing. The coaches last year would tell us what a great mentor you were and how this guy is going to be a future coach. Is that something that you still think about?
GM, hopefully.
GM, yeah.
GM.
You want the bigger job.
Yeah, a little bit more as far as personnel, bringing in personnel and understanding team chemistry and the dynamics of each team and each player. What
was the deciding factor to come back to L.A., basketball-wise?
When they picked up Cuz and AD.
Was that a wrap?
It was over, yeah. I told Rob, you got me. So.
That's a great answer.
Hilarious.
What do you think it takes to make up a winning team, a team that can win the championship? This is a team we haven't seen here in a long time. What do you think it takes mentally, and how do you guys sustain that?
Well, it starts with you have to have firepower, which we have. You have to have a mixture of guys that have something to prove, want to prove something, and also guys that have experience as far as championship experience. So we have a mixture of both. We have about 5 or 6 guys that has won. You got guys like Dwight, AD, who's they say their legacy's on the line. They want to prove people wrong and they want to win. So that's the big as well. So with the staff that we have, our coaching staff is unreal. Everyone's respected on our staff, and guys already, you can tell they enjoy being coached by these guys.
Better defensive team than you've seen here in a while?
Yes, I would say for the last 6 years, we haven't made the playoffs, but this year in particular, I think, it starts with defensive end of the floor. We have 3 guys that can anchor the floor at any time, at any given point in time of the game, Dwight, AD, and JaVale. So I look forward to, like I said, running guys off the line and forcing them to make shots over those 3.
Rajon, you're a natural-born leader. It's something that you relish. You enjoy the opportunity. One thing I've heard a couple times today is the kind of leader that Anthony Davis is. I think it's something that I'm learning a little bit more about him. How would you describe the kind of leader that he is and what he's able to bring from that standpoint?
He's going to bring it every night on the floor. His work ethic is unmatched. He's going to be in the gym. He's going to be in the weight room. And he's just a great person to be around. He's fun. He's funny. And he's a willing listener. You can't just be a leader that knows it all. And from start, when I met AD a couple years ago, he was like a sponge, kind of how I am today still as well. Just I want to learn as much as I can from my coaching staff and even young guys like Kuz as well. I can still learn this later part of my career.
From afar, Rajon, we would see AD's stat line sometimes, and you're just like, oh my gosh, 40 and 25. Explain to Laker fans what they're getting in this young man.
This would be probably the most exciting player that's played in a uniform in a while. I mean, I know no disrespect to Kobe a couple years back, but AD is 6'10", super athletic, extremely long. He can do all the intangibles, and he's going to change his game in so many ways that may not even show up in the stat sheet. But with him on the floor, you'll see a big difference.
How much have you played that pick and roll game over and over in your head?
Well, I've watched old tape, old film, and seeing the chemistry that we had a couple years back, and passing along to LeBron. And like I said, those 2 guys are going to be fun to watch as far as a dynamic duo.
Talk about the defense on the perimeter. You bring in Danny Green, a great defensive player.
Avery Bradley.
This is going to be a defensive team this year, despite the offensive power that you have.
Absolutely. That's where we're going to hang our hat on.
Yeah.
And from
I like
start tomorrow, I've got a couple questions about offense, but my mindset is, offense starts with the defense end of the floor.
Absolutely.
And we can take care of the glass, which, AD and Dwight and JaVale is going to do extremely well. And we just protect the paint.
What are those questions
Yeah.
that you mentioned?
What'd you say?
You said you had a couple questions offensively.
No, that people were asking me about, how are we going
I
to be
got
offensively? Are we going to
You
be
and I are on
on
the
a
same
fast
page.
break
Right.
team? Or are we going to be? I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we're going to be a defense stopper team
Gotcha.
first.
Gotcha.
I also want to know how you speak that into existence, because the outside world doesn't see that as something that this team can really bring to fruition. And as you mentioned, hang your hat on. How do you
Well-
make sure this team is that team?
Well, we will. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we're going to. Okay. We're going to.
Starts there.
Starts with that.
Starts with that,
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
defensively. We have a lot of great guys that are great communicators. I mean, guys like Jared Dudley, myself, LeBron, so many different aspects of guys that know the game and are willing to talk, because if you don't know the game, there's so much you can say on the floor.
Yeah, cues,
but
yep.
guys that 10-plus years in our game that's been around, know the terminology, are going to be able to help big tremendously on the defensive end of the floor.
You have a relationship with Alex Caruso now that you've played with him a year, and Quinn Cook. What do you see in those young point guards?
Two great point guards that are underrated right now, and by the
Yeah.
end of the season, their name will be respected.
You believe in them that much?
Absolutely. What they do defensively, the little things on the court, the way they talk, the way they get through the pick and rolls is going to be big for our defensive team as a whole.
Good team guys too, huh?
Great team guys.
Talk about the three-headed monster, the three-headed coaches that you have. How's that going to benefit, and the fourth one, including yourself, how's that going to benefit the team?
Well, everybody respects the staff, and that's big. A lot of players nowadays, you might have one or two coaches that you respect, and then other guys may say some stuff, and you kind of throw it under the bus. But this staff in particular, they did a hell of a job of going out and get a lot of guys that us as players respect. And with that being said, the film room is going to be a little bit more intense. Guys will be able to get called out and be able to challenge each other and not feel a type of way, because everyone respects and we have one common goal.
So many questions, Rajon, around here about Dwight Howard, especially in Los Angeles, because he was here before. Do you still believe he can be an impact player?
Absolutely. We wouldn't. I don't think we would have. I particularly voted for him to obviously join the team, but you need guys like that, people that have thrown him under the bus or have doubted him or have lost win or what they can actually do. But he's one of the best talents we still have in our game today as the center, and I look forward to him growing. He's never played with 2 point guards that he's going to play with this year in particular, so it's going to be a great season for him.
How's the hand? Dealt with a couple hand injuries last
The
year.
hand is fine.
Hand is good.
The hand is really good.
So
Yes.
A little birdie told me that over the last couple days in Vegas, you're a guy that has stood out. Where are you mentally, physically, as you're approaching this next season?
I'm in pretty good shape. I try not to ever get out of shape now at the age I'm at, so I try to stay active,
Gotta stay ahead of
yoga
it.
bar, stuff like that. So I feel good. Like I said, I'm just excited about just getting together with the guys a couple days earlier and just learning each other.
The difference between going from a young team last year to now a veteran-laden ball club?
Not as much
Difference in
teaching. You don't have to do as much teaching. You can kind of get more things done quickly.
Quality practice time.
Yes.
How's your little guy doing?
He's doing great. He's they're 5-0 right now, and he's
Ooh.
Mighty Mighty football?
Mighty Mighty football. And actually, I was a coach.
Oh.
How was that? People don't know you played quarterback, right?
I played quarterback. Played a little bit, but like I said, I had a great summer this year, coaching little guys, 7, 8-year-old little guys on the floor, on the field. So it was fun experience.
You know, it was one of the coolest things last year when your son was in Boston with you.
That's the best.
And,
That's the
and there was
best.
footage
Yeah.
of them kind of shooting at that same spot that you hit that game winner. But for him to be there to see it,
Yeah, it's unreal. It's the most memorable moment I've ever
Right?
had in life.
Don't
you know?
remember
didn't-
when you.
That's
you was
crazy, 'cause
young
you've
when
had
you
some
were
good
in
ones.
Boston,
Yeah.
right?
He was
Like a
actually wasn't
baby?
born.
Oh, he
Yeah, my
wasn't
daughter
even
was
born.
born when I was in Boston.
He didn't
yeah.
want to let go of the basketball,
He
I
did.
think, right? In the
No.
locker room
Yeah.
afterwards?
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, he's had a lot of great moments, but for that to be
Him
at
to
the
be there
top,
with me.
Yeah,
unreal.
that's,
That was-
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That's
Well,
awesome.
thanks, Rondo. We appreciate
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
you being here, my man. I believe.
Let's do this.
Where are we going now?
Brez, is he out there wandering
Brez out there?
somewhere?
Brez, what you have?
We're going to break. We're
going
going
to
to break.
break.
We're going to break. All right, we're going to break. We will be back soon. AD, once again, he's not with us, but he's going to be addressing the rest of the media on the other side.